But I've gotten to a point where I don't trust government, Cenk. Whether it's a Democrat in charge or a Republican in charge, I don't trust government. So in that analysis that we did and talked about, one of the tax breaks that came with Trump's tax cuts for the rich, if he extends it, it would lead to $700 billion in lost revenue for the federal government. So what? So what? What does the federal government do with our money? $700 billion for what? For more aid to other countries in the form of weaponry? Is that what it is? Which is basically just redistributing our money from taxpayers to weapons contractors and defense contractors.
Yeah, so
it bothers me. I can't sit here and talk about like, oh, the federal government needs more revenue when I've seen what they do with our revenue, Cenk.
There's a lot of leftists out there that are waking up to the nonsense, waking up to the lies that they have been fed over the last few years. And basically every single election that they go into, they get fed a bunch of lies. And nowadays they have the ultimate boogeyman in Donald Trump, where they don't even have to lie very much. All they have to say is, hey, vote for us because we're not Donald Trump, and no other reason, just because we're not Donald Trump. And then they lie about what Trump has done, and they lie about who Trump is and stuff like that. But they don't have to lie about their own policies anymore, because they just simply say, hey guys, we're not Donald Trump, vote for us, and they fall for it. And Ana Kasparian is starting to realize, I've been brainwashed, I've been lied to, and I've fallen for it. But she's saying that she's not falling for it anymore. And now she's absolutely furious at the current state of the United States government. Let's get into this clip here where Ana Kasparian just destroys the woke cult and the very woke government that we have currently, just wasting our tax dollars. And let's just let Ana do the talking from here.
I have to get something off my chest. It's been on my mind since yesterday. Can I get it off my chest? You ready? He has no idea what's coming. Okay.
No, I don't.
Yesterday we did a story about what would happen if Trump gets elected and he further extends tax cuts for the rich, right? Now, it is an injustice that ordinary, hardworking Americans have a higher percentage of their income taxed compared to literal billionaires in the country. Okay, I get that conservatives like to focus on the dollar amount, and the dollar amount is much more when it comes to extremely wealthy people. But obviously, percentage-wise, okay, the higher taxes on low income people or lower income people has more of an impact on their lives and their livelihood. Okay, so I still stand by what we said, but I've gotten to a point where I don't trust government, Cenk. Whether it's a Democrat in charge or a Republican in charge, I don't trust government. So in that analysis that we did and talked about, one of the tax breaks that came with Trump's tax cuts for the rich, if he extends it, it would lead to $700 billion in lost revenue for the federal government. So what? So what? What does the federal government do with our money? $700 billion for what? For more aid to other countries in the form of weaponry? Is that what it is? Which is basically just redistributing our money from taxpayers to weapons contractors and defense contractors.
Yeah, so
it bothers me. I can't sit here and talk about like, oh, the federal government needs more revenue when I've seen what they do with our revenue, Cenk.
Pausing here to deliver some honest truth is
I don't care, Cenk.
important, guys. So there is the issue of whether government is a good thing or a bad thing. And then there's the issue of this current government as it's constituted, this system that we're living.
Yeah, obviously, dude, government's not a bad thing. We need law and order. But the current government, like Ana Kasparian is saying, the current government and the state of it is absolutely horrible. Basically, every single one of our politicians are sold out to people who are not the best interest of the American people, who don't have the best interest of the American people at mind. You think about certain people on the right are sold out to that certain country that Ben Shapiro loves so much in the Middle East. Certain people on the left are sold out to China. And then the people who aren't sold out to either are sold out to weapons manufacturers who just love war and they want to push us into more war. Like Ana Kasparian is saying, we're taking, what, $700 billion, she said, of taxpayer dollars and sending it to, foreign aid and Ukraine and in the Middle East and stuff like that, basically redistributing that money to weapons manufacturers. The state of our current government is awful. It's absolutely awful. Everybody is sold out to somebody. And it's not, none of them care about the American people more than the people that they're sold out to. There needs to be some kind of reset. People like, I don't know how, I don't know what it would be. I don't know how we would fix this. I don't know if there is a fixing it. But if there isn't a fixing it, then America is not going to be the world's superpower for much longer. It's not going to last for much longer going down the road that it's going down right now. It just won't. There's just no way.
living under. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? And does that spend our money right? So I think the right wing makes an absurd point that government is always bad. But okay, wait, you guys lately want cops, right? Cops are government. Firefighters, government. Schools, buildings. It's absurd to say government bad. Defense, government, etc. Social Security, Medicare, government. So of course it depends, right? But under this current system, and these two things are being conflated, and then I'm gonna get to the political side of this in a second because it's really important. These two things are being conflated. This current government sucks. And it sucks, not because it's Biden. No, by current government, I don't mean right now. I mean the last 40, 50 years. And that's because our Supreme Court legalized bribery. And when they did, corporations that have the most money took over both parties. That's the whole thesis of my book, Justice is Coming, right? And I provide overwhelming evidence. And for those of you who are Democrats, I hate to break your heart, but they totally took over the Democratic Party as well. So now this current government is not a government of the people, by the people, for the people. It's of the corporations, by the corporations, for the corporations. So that's why we all hate it. And then
if you're fed up with all the woke nonsense happening in the world like I am, go check out bringtheasteroid.shop, where we just released some new designs that look great and also allow you to express to everyone that you are just tired of the direction that America is going in right now, and that you're just like me and many others that watch this channel and watch Bring the Asteroid as well, and you just want it to go back to how it used to be. Check out bringtheasteroid.shop. We are limited on supplies for this drop, so if you want one, I would suggest that you go ahead and act soon. Let's get back to the video.
A load of this. That's genius on so many fronts by the corporations and the powerful, because it destroys the whole point of the Democratic Party. The Republicans were also always for the rich. The Democrats were supposed to be for the average man, but they're not anymore. So that's a giant problem for the Democrats. Number two, it makes the government look bad, look like an evil organization. So that is also helpful to the Republicans and hurts the Democratic Party, because the government keeps screwing us. They take our money, they send it over to Israel to kill more people. They take our money and give it to oil companies and subsidies for the most profitable companies in the world. They constantly take our money and give it to corporations. So then people hate government, right? So that also helps the Republican Party, which was originally formed to help rich people. So the entire system now gets you swirling around and angry and directs you towards policies that help rich people. And so the Republicans and Democrats have been doing good cop, bad cop on us for the last 50 years. And that's why you're frustrated like this, Anna.
Yeah,
and that's why you speak for the country.
At some point,
look, I think Cenk and Hassan and that group of people, they kind of just hate rich people for whatever reason. And it's ironic because they are also rich, but they really just don't like rich people. I don't hate rich people. I find them inspiring, and I aspire to be like them. So it'd be dumb for me to hate them. But I don't hate rich people, but I do agree that basically our entire system is rigged, and that the Republicans and Democrats do play good cop, bad cop and distract us from the fact that all of this is just a funnel to make the richest people in the world even richer and more powerful, because that's what they're really after, right? Not more money. They don't need more money. They want more power. And the people at the top, this is all just one big funnel in order for them to get more money, but more importantly, more power. And that's why, the lockdown stuff happens, because they want to test how much they can actually do with their power, and without people reacting in a super, super negative way. Obviously, people reacted in a negative way, but nothing really happened to them. They weren't held accountable for any of that stuff that happened, and they never will be. So what Cenk is saying, and also saying that Republicans don't like government, I think is also really dumb. I mean, maybe you guys in the comments don't like government, but I'm somebody who, I wouldn't say I don't like government, but I would like more laws to be left up to the individual states. That's why I love what Donald Trump did with, Roe v. Wade, or I guess it wasn't technically Donald Trump, but his Supreme Court did with Roe v. Wade, because it left it up to the states. And I think every law should be left up to the states for the ultimate decision. And the federal government should just put up guardrails for each law. So I'm not anti-government. I'm anti-government being this corrupt and also at the same time this powerful. If we leave it up to each individual state to make the final decision on each law, it's harder for the government to become corrupt, the federal government to become corrupt. Because if these states start putting laws in place, making the final decision on certain laws, and we start to see a pattern of, oh, this state is becoming very corrupt. They are only passing laws that, benefit rich people, benefit weapons manufacturers, send money to Ukraine, whatever. then you can just simply leave that state and stop paying taxes in that state, stop giving money to that state, stop funding that state because they're corrupt. But right now, most people are not going to leave the United States of America because you don't like where the tax dollars are going. It's hard to go somewhere where your tax dollar, it's basically impossible to go somewhere where your tax dollars aren't going to just get funneled to weapons manufacturers or funneled to the Middle East or funneled to China or whatever, you know? So that's why I think every law should be ultimately left up to the states. But let's see where Ana Kasparian has to say back to Cenk Uygur and what he just said.
Arguments made, look, I'm not libertarian, you guys know that, but the argument of taxation is theft starts to resonate. Because
under this government.
Because you see how much gets taken out of your paychecks and you see your quality of life dwindle away year after year, election cycle after election cycle. I'm supposed to sit here and get real upset that the federal government doesn't have the kind of revenue that it could if they just tax us more and tax wealthier people more. What are you gonna do with the money? Are you gonna actually fight for policies that are gonna improve the lives of Americans? And so far, I have not seen much of that happen. Okay, you wanna tout the infrastructure bill. What was the infrastructure bill? There's a provision in there that privatizes public infrastructure. I'm not excited about that, but I'm supposed to celebrate it? Really? Okay, fine. And then there's the provisions that provides government grants, meaning our taxpayer money, to corporations.
Yep. Told you. The whole thing is
celebrate?
structured around taking our money and giving it to corporations that are the largest donors of both the Republican and Democratic parties. And what's the mainstream media's role in all this is to pretend that that is not happening. That's why they never ever report, oh, while we're doing the infrastructure bill, how much did construction companies give to Democrats? How much did unions that benefit from construction give to Democrats, right?
Yeah, this is one of the most based Young Turk videos that I've ever seen. Mainly coming from Ana Kasparian, though. You can tell Cenk's just kind of trying to reel Ana Kasparian back in by saying things like Ana Kasparian saying, I'm not a libertarian, but I'm starting to, the taxation is theft is starting to resonate with me. And Cenk's like, but for this government, right? Just for this government. He's trying to reel her in a little bit. He doesn't want her going like full libertarian or full Republican, like it seems like she wants to go. He keeps trying to reel her back in. Let me know in the comments what you think about what Ana Kasparian had to say in this video, as well as her making Cenk Uygur pretty uncomfortable with how heated she's getting. Let me know in the comments what you think about this whole Ana Kasparian and Cenk Uygur situation.